What's going on, Flyers fans? It's your boy Sal G. Don't adjust your screens. Yes, I am not doing Phillies postgame show. This is the Flyers postgame show. Clear the ice here on It's a Wrap Network. That's right, our boy Matty B got his own network going. It's called It's a Wrap. Clear the Ice has moved from Edge of Philly Sports to It's a Wrap Network. So right now, you're seeing streams on both Edge of Philly Sports and It's a Wrap. So, yes, I'm all flyered up. I got my Flyers shirt on, got my Flyers hat on. The Matvey Michkov era has begun. Michkov scored his first career NHL point. He got himself an assist in the third period today. And unfortunately, though, even though Michkov got himself a point, the Flyers could not come up with the win. It's tough to win in back-to-back games. It's very tough to do. Hockey's such a physical sport that when teams do play back-to-back, and they're on the road too, and they're in another country. They're in Canada right now. They're doing their Canada tour right now. They started off, they're Calgary tonight. Last night they were in, and now I can't remember where they were, but they were in Canada. And in a couple days from now, they're going to be in Edmonton. They're going to be playing the Oilers, finishing up their Canadian tour. I'm drawing a blank because right now it's Sunday morning. If you stayed up late with me, and I see some folks are watching right now, so please throw a like, a share, subscribe to It's a Wrap Network. Show some love to your boy Sal G here. It was a tough game today. The Flyers lost 6-3. The game was a lot closer than it seemed, though. Just the Flames really broke it open in the third period. I mean, they had 17 shots on goal in the third. Really broke it open, and then it was a close game. The Flyers battled, but Calgary then, they took it. They took it home there in the third. And before we get into it, too, shout out, rest in peace to Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew Gaudreau. Johnny, of course, played the majority of his career for the Calgary Flames. The Flames had a nice video tribute for him. The Flyers and the Flames, they were all on the ice when the tribute video was playing. It was really touching to see. You saw players on both sides, slapping their sticks on the ice, um, showing love for Johnny Gaudreau. And it's very sad to see. He's such a young man, and let's not forget about his brother Matthew too. His brother, I believe, played hockey. He might have dabbled in the NHL, but he was an AHL player. But of course, everybody knows Johnny Gaudreau, whose nickname is Johnny Hockey. Apropos, great player. Wanted to play with the Flyers. I've heard when he was a free agent, the Flyers had a chance to sign him, showed some interest in going there. It would have been nice to see Johnny eventually play for the Flyers or have a chance to play. For his home team. I mean, he's from Jersey, but it's close enough to Philly. Would have been nice to see, but it was a tragic thing that happened, tragic accident there. And rest in peace to Johnny and his brother Matthew. And the Flames, played their ass off tonight, and the Flyers did too. And maybe that had something to do with it too. But nice tribute. Even the goalie for the Flames had a nice graphic of Gaudreau on the back of his helmet. It was really cool to see. So, I'm curious. I don't know how many people are up right now, but I do have some questions for you all. What are your thoughts on the Flyers this year? Do you think they can contend for the playoffs? Much wasn't or much isn't expected of them, or much wasn't expected for them going into this season. But I think getting Mitchkoff to come to the Flyers, that might speed up the rebuilding process. So, it'll happen sooner than later. And Mitchkoff, 19 years old, he's a bolt of lightning on the ice. He looks amazing, crazy skill set, crazy stick handling skills. He looks like he's going to be a star. Best prospect the Flyers have had since Eric Lindros. So that's high praise. Of course, Eric Lindros's career didn't turn out the way we all wanted. A lot of it due to his concussions, of course. But if Mitchkov can, get to that Lindros type level of production and even better, and we got ourselves a special player here in Philly. So see what can happen here. All right. Before I break some things down, I see a comment there, my buddy Chris. What's going on, buddy? Rough loss. It was rough. It was tough, but it was a fun game to watch. It 6-3. You hear the final, and it looks like they got their asses kicked, but it really was like the second half of the third period where the Flames just broke it open. Flyers were trailing for most of the game, but they kept battling. Yeah, they kept battling, and we'll get to that here. Let's see. I got a lot of notes for the Flyers. So, let's see where we got in here. Oh, so I was going to say one of the things I wanted to bring up. What are the best ice cold winter type of names for hockey players? We have Morgan Frost on the Flyers. So to me, that jumps out as being an awesome hockey name, right? Frost, ice, right? I do remember a Bob Freeze, I believe, playing for the Flyers. If he didn't play for the Flyers, I know he was in the NHL. It wasn't spelled Eeze, but it was pronounced Freeze. But I think there's some other players out there that have that ice cold winter type theme. So you throw them in the comments, or whenever you guys get a chance, just hit me up with that. I'm curious. I'm curious your favorite winter ice themed players. But one of the things I guess we could take away from this game, a highlight for the Flyers is their penalty kill. Their penalty kill still looks strong, just like it was last year. They played well last year in penalty kills. They were ninth in the NHL in penalty killing. Their power play was last in the league. That wasn't good, but their penalty killing is awesome, and they're showing strength in that again this year. I know it's 2 games in, but in last night's game, they were strong in their penalty killings. Killed 5 penalties last night. Tonight, they scored another shorthanded goal, so that was cool to see. Um, so we had that. We had the shorthanded goal. Getting into that. Let's see what other highlights did we have, and we're talking about Morgan Frost. Just jumping back to that for a second. Um, and thanks, buddy, Chris. That was Travis connecting with the shorthanded goal. That was great to see. But speaking of Morgan Frost, he took a shot in the game where he was hunched over. He looked like he was in pain. Jim Jackson, Boucher were saying possibly maybe he ran out of breath or he got the wind knocked out of him, something like that. But then when he came back into the game, they were saying he didn't look right. So hopefully it's not a serious injury. It sounds like it could be, something, perhaps bruised ribs or something like that. I hope it's not serious. I believe he still played the majority of the game. His minutes might have been limited some, but we'll find out. We'll see about that. Hopefully he's okay. Let's see, Chris. Seems good to see Forrester stick up for Drysdale, but the Flames scored on that power play. Yeah, um, Drysdale got mauled in the middle of the ice there. He got leveled on a hit. Forrester is not known as a tough guy, you know, I want to say he ran, but he skated really fast to the player, dropped his gloves as he was skating toward him. They hit him with the misconduct, I believe, for dropping the gloves prematurely. They also gave him, the 2-minute instigation plus the 5-minute fighting penalty. That's 17 total minutes there. Obviously, the misconduct doesn't count towards the power play for the Flames, but the 2 minutes, the 2 minutes came back to bite them because the Flyers were shorthanded. They were 5-3, down 3 men to 5, and they ended up giving up a goal in that situation. So that was rough. What's going on, Fred? Glad you stayed up to watch the game tonight. Sorry it didn't go the way we all wanted it to, but yeah, we got a shorty from TK. Thank you, Chris, with the assist. See, hockey knowledge. Got hockey action, yo, tonight. Travis Konechny, 16 shorties last night. Ah, I don't think they had 16 shorties. All right, they led the league last season with 16 shorties. That may be accurate. They were one of the best teams in doing so. I believe they might have been the best team in scoring shorthanded goals. So, yes, 16 is quite a bit. And thank you, Chris, with another assist, my man. So, yeah, let's see. Let's break down some of this game a little bit. I'll go into the box score here. Um, So the highlights for the Flyers, well, we got 2 goals from Konechny, so that was great. That was nice to see. We got the assist from Michkov, an assist from Eric Johnson, an assist from Frost, a goal from Joel Farabee. There, he needs to come back. Remember last season, Sean Couturier, he's got the C on his chest. He was benched by John Tortorella. So not good when your captain is benched. So let's see if he steps up this year. Coots did have the assist. I didn't even know that. So that's a positive, I guess. And Bobby Brink with the great assist on the goal there. It was awesome pass to I believe that was to Konechny, and that was a beautiful pass. Brink, great passer. It was nice to see. Fedotov did not have a great game. A couple of the goals were not his fault, though. The first goal of the game, it went off the shoulder pad or the shoulder, the arm of Jonathan Haberdo, and he got a goal for that. Al Morgani was saying during post or intermission um, intermission break that perhaps Huberdeau was leading with his shoulder. I didn't see that, but perhaps if the refs would have saw that, that would have took away that goal. It didn't, though. Can't really blame Fedotov for that. And then another goal that wasn't really Fedotov's fault is where the player was behind. He was behind the net, and one of the players, I forgot who the player was, but he came towards the player who was behind the net, which really was a dumb move because why are you going to go after the guy that's behind the net? He can't score from behind the net. And that led to an open pass, which left the player open to score the goal for the Flames. So 2 goals weren't his fault. Of course, we had an empty netter. Can't charge that to Fedotov, but played okay. He is 6'6", 6'7". You know, is his height. You would think the height, the telescopic limbs, the telescopic leg, right? That he has, that should be that should be a positive, right? But could his height be a detriment? I don't know. I wonder. Curious about everybody's thoughts that's tuning in or might tune in tomorrow morning, listening. But I'm curious because the guy's really tall. I mean, he has tremendous reach. I mean, he could do a split, and his legs are hanging out both sides of the net there. So, you'd think a guy that tall could be really tough to score on, but he didn't have so great of a year last year. He is 27 years old, still considered a prospect, right? Because he spent most of his time in the KHL, but he's clearly the backup to Urson, right? Ursan, as I like to say. You'll hear that throughout the year. But he's clearly the backup to Urson, right? And we don't know if Urson is going to be the guy for the Flyers in the future. I mean, he is for this year. Is he a stopgap or is he the future goalie of the Flyers? Great goaltending can make great teams, but there have been cases of championship teams that did not have good goalies. So if we have a competent goalie, maybe the Flyers can still do something. Again, not expected to win the Stanley Cup this year, but you never know. It's a feisty team. It's a young team. You got Jet Lachenko, who's 18 years old. He was a healthy scratch today. Tortorella said he wanted to give the kid a break. He had a couple of mental lapses yesterday, one that led to a goal scored by the opposing team. Probably good to give him a rest. Now with Lachenko's situation, Flyers have up to 10 games played in the NHL. I believe if he gets to his 10th game, you have to keep him on the roster. But the way, I guess, for the junior contract or something like that, that in game 9, if they're not feeling Jet, they can send them back down and he can stay down and retain eligibility and things like that. So obviously, Mitchkov, who's 19, isn't going anywhere. He's a stud. But Jet Lachenko, he was a healthy scratch. We'll see what the Flyers with him. Still has a few more games to show he belongs here, so we'll see if he can do that. I mean, 18 is really young for a hockey player, but even the Calgary Flames, they had themselves a 19-year-old playing today. So nice to see the young guys up in here. I believe that was I can't remember the guy's name. So I think it was Hanzik, but we'll see. I see some more comments. Let's get some more comments up. Fred's overseas and couldn't watch. Just got done work. It is 8:15 a.m. Well, my man, tune in to the game if you're chilling. I mean, after you get some sleep, of course, check it out. And the Flyers didn't win, but maybe you see some interesting things there. Some feistiness going on in the game. We talked about whatchamacallit, Forrester sticking up for Drysdale when he got mauled in center ice there. There was some fun things happening at the end of the first period. Montha was giving somebody a face wash, a hand wash, face wash there, trying to get somebody to maybe mix it up a bit. I don't know who the player was in the Flyers, but Michael, what's going on, buddy? Fedotov should have started in an AHL. You could see he's not accustomed to an NHL game. Yeah, do we have anybody in the AHL we can bring up as a backup goalie? Now I know we have the other Russian goalie that's there now. I forgot. I think it's Koloslav. But apparently he doesn't really like the USA too much. But we'll see. Maybe he's a better option. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens there. Chris saying good to see Farabee get one after he missed a wide open net last night. Yeah, it's nice to see. All right, Fred, catch the highlights later. Appreciate you checking in, buddy. And everybody that's listening, please throw up a like, share, and subscribe. That's right, Chris Fury. Son, throw up a like, and share. Subscribe to It's a Wrap Network. It's Matty B's brand new network. Happy to be doing Clear the Ice with him. It's my first year doing it. This is my first Flyers game. I do not have as much hockey knowledge as my man Matty B does, but I do have great NHL 93 knowledge. And Chris Fury, this is for you, buddy. I could do the goal sound in NHL 93 really well. All right. So I'm going to bust that out. I might bust that out tonight. And when the Flyers have really good games, I'm going to bust out the flex when they do that. When you do the instant replay, when you're showing your buddy, like, yo, check out this goal I just scored with Roenick. Check it out. All right, I got that. There you go. We'll have many more of those to come. Sal's goal sounds from NHL 93. But yeah, let's see. Let me go back here. I'll get some more on the first period. So Mark Hathaway for the Flyers. He's our instigator on the team. Stood in front of the goalie and drew some pushing and shoving. That was cool to see. So, instigator is a great role in hockey. Right? You could draw penalties. That's the idea, right? You want to draw penalties for your team. You want to. Nobody likes the asshole in real life, but in hockey, if you got a good instigator, the instigator that comes to mind for me of all-time instigators was Matthew Barnaby of the Buffalo Sabres back in the day. I remember he even had his front tooth was like emblazoned, or it was like a cap that had the Sabres on it or something. Might have said like F off too. I don't know, but he was the biggest instigator prick that I remember. So But his shots on goal in the first period, Philadelphia had 19 shots in the first period, and Calgary had 9. And Calgary led 2-0 on 9 shots. But that first goal that went off the shoulder of Huberdeau, it wasn't Fedotov's fault. And the other goal, maybe so, but and in the second period, the Flyers had a chance at a power play early in the second, couldn't get anything going there. But then, of course, at the 14-minute mark of the game, I know it's backwards. It's hard. I know in reality they'll say the opposite. They'll say 5, whatever. But I'm just going to say, if you're watching the replay, the 14-minute mark, Paling got a interference penalty, and the Flyers were able to capitalize on a penalty kill, a shorthanded goal by Travis Konechny, and you got assist by Lawton and Eric Johnson there. And in the second period, I mentioned that Morgan Frost hit. Let's hope he's okay. I have a feeling it could be ribs back, but we'll get more on that, I'm sure, soon. And then the 7-minute mark in the second period, we had the Tyson Forrester fight. Forrester's not a fighter. He didn't win that fight, but props to sticking up to Drysdale. Forrester ended up getting that 10-minute misconduct. But then you got the 2-minute instigator penalty added on top of the fighting. Then you had a 5-on-3 with Travis Sanheim after a slashing call. And then you had a power play goal by Kadri, wrist shot. And Calgary led at that point 3-1. And then late in the second period, with just under 2 minutes, Joel Farabee got himself a goal. That was the one my man Chris was talking about. Farabee missed one yesterday. And then you had assists by Brink, Couturier. Couturier's 499th point of his career. So 500, nice milestone there coming up. Calgary led 3-2 at that point. And the shots on goal in the second, Flyers led that one too. They had 12 shots in the second period to Calgary's 7th. And at that point of the game, Philadelphia had 31 shots on goal. Calgary had 16. And the third period, Joel Farabee was trying to drop the gloves and stick. Flames player didn't want to go. Luckily, a penalty wasn't called there. I think they would have called unsportsmanlike or something on Farabee. That was a possibility. That didn't happen, though. Farabee got off the ice, but his glove and stick remained. And then you had a power play for the Flyers at the 11-minute mark in the third period. But the Flyers couldn't capitalize there on the power play. And just under the 10-minute mark in the third period, Konechny had a wide open net and couldn't slam it home. It was a great pass by Michkov. It was unfortunate because who knows what could have happened there if that goal would have been scored by Konechny. And then you had Backlund, the 5-minute mark in the third period, scored on a 2-on-1. Cam York missed the shot, or the shot wasn't flush, and it kind of ricocheted, and then Calgary took it back 2-on-1. Coleman and Zary on the assists. That sucked. And then the third period, Huberdeau, player of the game, of course. It was his second goal of the game. He also had 2 assists, so he had himself a 4-point night. Got himself player of the game, and then you had assists from Pospisil and Bean. Calgary led at 5-2 at that point. And then you had the Konechny goal near the end of the second period with the assist by Michkov. Michkov's first career point of the year. And it was a second goal of the game for Konechny. He's your other player of the game. He's a player of the game for the Flyers. And Kadri, I guess we'll give him the other player of the game. That's his second goal. He got an open net goal, and that put the game away for the Flames 6-3. And that was all she wrote for the Flyers, who will get back at it on Tuesday. They're going to be in Edmonton. So they're on their Canada tour playing the Oilers. That's another 10 o'clock game. So for all you night owls, you'll be loving that. I will probably be asleep, unfortunately. These late games are killing me. If it was at the weekend, I'd be asleep. But I like Flyers. I like hockey, my man. So in the third period, This is where the tides turned. Philadelphia had 9 shots on goal, but Calgary had 17. Those 17 shots on goal came back to haunt the Flyers. And the total of the game, shots on goal, Flyers 40, put up 40 shots, Calgary 33. That sucked. Fury says, "Yeah, I guess that was because of the hockey sound." Appreciate it, Fred. Been a Flyers fan since mid '70s. Got to get some sleep. We'll tune in whenever I can. Appreciate it, man. We'll be here all season, so yeah, definitely check in, man. Have a good night or have a good day, man. Take care. All right, guys. Probably gonna wrap this up now. Let's see, some other points here. Mm. All right. I don't want to put on dead air, but that's all I got for tonight, guys. I appreciate it. It's Sunday morning, 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll talk to you guys next time. I'm your boy, Sal G. Give me a follow, Sal G Philly on X. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. Where's my later?